you rely on the top of the deck more often in Magic. In Yu-Gi-Oh, going into your deck to find whatever card you need has been a staple effect since Metal Raiders.
Okay.
Which is
I think I'm back on my end. I had to start a new stream. Oh, God damn it. So now my audience is going to be tiny because half the people probably just like...
I will force everybody from my audience to pop over to yours again. So Yu-Gi-Oh has a mill system built in. I mean, most card games have a mill system.
Oh, God damn it. My old chat was still active, and I was like telling people like, "Oh, I'm still live. I'm over here now. I'm back. Go over there." And then like right when I pasted the link in and hit send, it was like, "Oh, this live event is over. You can't do that anymore." Like, fuck you. Oh, goddamn. Okay, so yeah.
I also can't see anything from your OBS if I'm supposed to.
You can't?
Nope.
Yeah, so if I do this...
There we go.
Hello.
Now I can.
Hello, services people.
Hello, and welcome to his channel.
Oh, God damn it. Wait, what is that? What is... Oh, no. Don't tell me. Is Zoom doing stupid things? No, Zoom is being okay, I think. Okay, just gotta update So the thing that I use to display my comments on stream, one of the drawbacks for that is that every time I start a stream, I have to update the link that's in it. So just a second. There we go. Now...
Sweet Melody. I read that tweet as well. If you mill somebody out in Magic, since the deck is supposed to be the accumulated spells and knowledge your character has, that milling somebody out is just bimboifying them. You're just slowly making them more and more stupid.
Okay, so yeah, I think we're pretty much done with the Yeshiva University one. We discussed everything there, and then I crashed in the middle of it, so I'm just going to move on to the next story. Oh, and I'm not recording on my end because, God damn it, that crashed me last time. I'm not trying again.
Just going to pull it from YouTube.
Just going to pull it from YouTube, yeah.
That is 100% fair and valid. Give me a second to get your actual live link up.
Oh,
because the last one is, it's
defunct.
Dead.
It's defunct. Do you want me to send it to you?
Nope. I'm a big boy. I can get it. There we go, everybody. All right. Fuckos in my chat. Hit !collab to an obnoxious degree. Get that link and go to Vice Rhino's chat and say weirdly inappropriate but borderline enough to where YouTube won't censor you things.
So funny you should say that, because in the video that I just finished recording and editing today, I finished that off with there was my comment of the day is someone telling me that like they had sex while my video was playing. And so at the end, I'm like, so everybody go down to the comment section and tell me if you've had sex to one of my videos. And if you haven't, tell me why. And then I'm just like, this is going to be somebody's first, like somebody is going to click on one of my videos for the first time. They'll be like, oh, I was recommended this Rhino guy. Like somebody told me that they were like, this Vice Rhino guy was good at science.
Rhino came up on autoplay while I was finishing.
Yeah. Well, no, this Rhino person, like I'm told that he knows what he's talking about with like regards to evolution and the Bible and stuff. So I think I'll check him out. And then they're going to click on this video. They're going to scroll down being like, fuck to this video. Or I didn't fuck to this video, and here's why.
Okay, so you know what you should have said, truly and honestly?
What?
Give me a timestamp for when you climaxed. Lean fully into it.
Oh, yeah. That could be a new YouTube analytic. You just like click a button when you climax, and then they can put that on your little graph.
Pornhub should get on that. That's a perfect. No, Pornhub should not get on that.
Pornhub
I
kind of
should make
already has that with the like, this is the most
the
replayed
highlight
section of the
section.
video.
I was gonna say just like I should make a porn website that uses that has that feature, and it's the exclusive. Like I'm gonna patent it. The climax button feature.
We're getting the horny bonk from High Safe on my chat. Anyway, this is the title story of the video, and I might skip the next one, or we can just power through the next one because we lost a lot of time there. Anyway, so girl kicked out of Christian school after refusing to take a picture in the bathtub.
So I had to actually like learn what was going on here. So apparently in this school, from what I understand, there is a reading bathtub specifically, right? Or something like that. That's just like, this is a space that you can read in because some homes don't have a space for that. But that is not how any of this comes across. This comes across as infinitely weirder than that.
It's yeah, but the homework, like I've got a picture of the actual homework assignment on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't say, like, it says send a picture of you doing reading homework in the bathtub.
Yeah.
So that reads like you're taking a bath and reading a book. And apparently they've been doing this assignment for years. Anyway,
that doesn't make it better.
We'll get to that. So a second grader was kicked out of Victory Christian Academy because, of course, a Christian school wants you to send naked pictures of your kids to them. Yeah, it's at least they're not Catholic this time. In Jacksonville, Florida, of course, it's in Florida.
Why wouldn't it be? Ron DeSantis be praised.
Oh God. After her parents refused to participate in an assignment that involved taking a picture of their child doing reading homework in bathtub. So I emailed the teacher asking for an explanation. Send something out to the parents. Let them know what the intentions are. This just does not sound okay. Agreed. It does not sound okay. She did send out a message saying you should be in pajamas, be in your uniform, have fun with it. But it didn't sit. The fact that clarification was necessary.
Oh, so this is okay. So the information that I was getting on this then was different.
Well, so that was the message that was sent out to all the parents. The message that they got back specifically to them was, we have been sending this homework assignment home for years, and you're the only one complaining about it. Just cover your child in pillows or pajamas then. Which, that to me, suggests that, no, most people do it naked. And if you're uncomfortable with that, then just put pillows on them.
That's a lot grosser than the image I had in my head. Because the picture I saw on Twitter, there was literally like a bathtub that was put inside a room that was not meant. It was like one of the standing ones, not one of the ones that's built into a wall, that had like comfortable padding and everything. It apparently was like literally used as a reading space. This is not that.
No, this is homework. This is you are at home.
Completely different.
The teacher was asking, when you are at home, send me a picture of you doing your homework in the tub.
So I'm just going to go ahead and say that teacher needs to take a seat. Just take a seat so we can have a little chat. Just chat for a very long time. Long enough for me to... God damn it, YouTube's going to censor me for that one. Anyways. No. Everything about that is
This
wrong.
is my live streaming channel where you can say what you want, and if YouTube takes the channel down, it's not really going to hurt me. So that's the whole point of having it on a separate channel.
Yeah, but I'm also live streaming, and you know,
and Twitch doesn't.
Violent thoughts are bad.
You can wish that a meteor will hit whoever you like.
I wish for them to learn how the dinosaurs died. That's all. I just want you to learn how the dinosaurs went.
You know what? There's been in the news recently, there's been a lot of things about how China, when they send rockets up, they don't really consider the re-entry trajectory for a lot of the stuff that falls off the rocket on its way up. So it's like, I can hope for one of those stray bits of space junk to just hit the teacher on the head. That's allowed.
I mean, that's
Because
literally
it's not like
the
it's not a conscious agent doing anything. It's
it's
just
the premise of Dead Like Me, actually. If you've ever seen that show,
I have not. No.
the first episode, main character dies by having a toilet fall on them that fell as space debris.
Well, there's
Toilet
I
seat.
think with the way space programs are going, there is I think it was a 10% chance that within the next 50 years someone will get hit by space junk at some point. But that's like a 10% chance that someone out of the billions of people on the earth. So it's very slim chances, but it's still like that's one of those weird like in the future we'll have to worry about like bits of rocket ships falling on top of us.
We're worried about the space junk being up there and encapsulating the planet, but we really should be worried about the space junk being up there and making its way down here.
No, we should be worried about both because most of the space junk that's up there, if it were to actually come back down, it would just burn up in the atmosphere and it would be fine. The problem is that the space junk is up there orbiting at incredibly high velocities where it's going to like take out our GPS satellites and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, yeah, Justice says 10% is high, but yeah, 10% chance that someone will get hit at some point out of the billions of people. It's not 10% chance for every person. It's 10% chance.
You have a higher chance of being struck by a random toilet than by lightning.
Anyway, so yeah, as if a picture of as if this is Hemant Meta, so he likes to editorialize. I actually originally I was going to pull the story from the news site that first broke it, and I hadn't read the Only Sky version yet, but I assumed that they would be covering it.
Yeah.
But it's like I don't want to turn into a channel that I just read Only Sky every time because that's basically what it is at this point because they cover all the same stuff that I would want to cover. But the website for that was just like jam packed full of like ads and links to other articles and just bad graphics, and it was a difficult crop and everything. So I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna go to Hemant. He knows what he's doing, and this is a clean website.
And you know what? If we all cannibalize each other's content, we all succeed.
And then I get to read sentences in a news article like, as if a picture of a clothed or covered up child was the exception to the rule. It's like, it's kind of what I was pointing out, where it's like the fact that they had to clarify that, like, oh, just cover your child in pajamas then. He's like, okay, well,
yeah,
if you're
why do you need pictures of a kid in a bathtub? Why do you need that?
Yeah. So, and also this teacher was hired just this past August. So how do they know that nobody else has ever complained about it in the years that this assignment has been going home? Like they've only been working there for a month.
Mm-hmm. It just, I want to know. Now I actually legitimately not thinking of my favorite musical instrument, the violin, but I legitimately would want to have a long conversation with this person. Like, okay, I have a question. Did you or did you not request naked pictures of children? Well, no, I asked for pictures of them in a bathtub. Okay, cool. Where they were more likely to be what? Well, they'd probably more likely be naked, but they could clothe them if they want. Okay, cool. So we're going to ask the question again. Did you or did you not request naked pictures of a child? Well, when you word it like that, okay, cool. So we can agree that the answer is yes. Second part, do you see the problem with that? Just, we don't have to go far down the Socratic method.
No. Yeah, no. So they say if the goal was to have a little fun with the reading homework by having Victory Christian Academy parents take a picture of the kids reading in the bathtub with clothes on and no running water, that should have been specified. Like, make that explicit. I am not asking for naked pictures. But like, if you just say, send me pictures of a kid in a bathtub, people are assuming it's taking a bath.
It's like, give me a picture of your kid in a chair. Well, not sitting in the chair. They didn't have to be sitting.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like,
what
well,
were they more likely to be doing with the chair?
Yeah.
You want to do handstands in it?
So a few days after this incident, they got a call from the school. The school administrator said, I think you guys should do a parental withdrawal for the child. To which they said, no, we can't do that. We refuse to withdraw her. To which they were then told, well, we're going to proceed with an administration withdrawal. In other words, they're expelling a child for not sending nudes to her teacher.
So, at what point, at what stage of grief do you have to be in? Because denial's part of it, which is most assuredly part of this story. It has to be. At what stage of grief do you have to be in where that's the course of action instead of, oh, I don't know, not asking for nudie pics of kids?
Yeah, like, just don't ask for naked kid pics.
But parents have pictures of their kids in the bathtub all the time, and they think it's funny. Like, you know, sometimes that can happen, and we can have a conversation about whether or not that's appropriate. But you're not the kid's parent, so I don't think that conversation has to be had with you.
Also, generally that stops around age 2 or so.
Yeah, not when they're in grade school.
No. Well before that. Like, I'm not going to lie. I have pictures of my kids while they were in the tub because they were, like, being cute and playing with each other and stuff. You know what they don't do anymore is take baths with each other. Like, things change as they get older. And also, like, every time I go through the pictures, I always get to those ones. It's like, yeah, I remember them being cute, but my feeling right now with this is just like, oh, that's awkward. Nobody's ever going to see this except for me and them. So maybe I should just delete it. But then I have a really hard time deleting anything that has anything to do with my kids. So. Are you talking? Are we having technical difficulties again?
No.
I saw your avatar's mouth go, and I was like, oh, please, God, tell me he's not talking. And
no, the truth of the matter is I have a delicious snack in front of me, and I am muting myself when I am eating.
Okay. Well, you know what? Fuck you. I've earned myself another beer. I'm getting another beer. So you carry the stream for a sec.
I don't know how many ways I can tell the stream that you shouldn't be asking for nudie pictures of kids. I don't know how often I have to do that, or how likely it is that I'm going to have to continue doing that in the future. But, you know, anyways, I guess we just have to say the statement over and over again.
Ooh.
Don't ask for no.
That's
not that one.
Ooh is the one you have to say over and over again. Get on it, Cirrus chat.
No, it's not.
Ooh the fuck out of that chat.
I have told them that redeems don't happen when I am collaborating. They can
redeem all your fucking oohs right now.
All 97 of you hit the collab command and leave my stream and go to Rhino now.
I mean, I'm okay with it. You can come ooh me. I will welcome the oohs. I like the oohs.
This is like when this is exactly like when I was working with freaking Hannah Reloaded. This is identical. This is the same type of shit I had to put up with.
She would just encourage your chat to bother you. I'm getting some ooh-woos. But these were people that were already in the chat. That's no fun. It's Scott and Jassa. And Lord of Ooze Kulak.
Jump point, I see what you just put in, and I hope you're okay with me hitting the refund button on that, because again, I'm not doing redeems. Even 50,001 channel point redeems.
I think we're getting some new ones over here. There we go.
Good.
I'm getting all the ooh.
Leave me alone. Go away.
Hey, if you super chat your ooh,
Rhino.
If you super chat the oohs over here, I'll say it on stream, as if I'm not already saying it a million times. All right. So Pastor Jesse Latta later explained that the assignment was innocent, but out of an abundance of caution and for there to be no misunderstandings, our administration has removed this particular assignment for any future use. It's like, yeah, that's the right thing to do. Don't do this assignment anymore.
That was the right thing to do the first time.
Yeah. But they have declined to comment on the fact that the child who brought this up as a potential issue, was expelled. Got expelled for bringing it up as an issue. And they also didn't, they weren't going to do anything with it until it hit the news and it became a news item. Like, it was just going to stay in the curriculum. It was just like, no, nobody's complained about this before. But then it's like, okay, well, now that you've gone to the police and the news and stuff, and like, fine, but your girl's expelled. Now, realistically, what probably went through their minds when they expelled the kid was, this is a parent who is going to go to the police when they get offended by an assignment. So we just don't want that trouble here. Like, it's not you are expelled for not doing the assignment, or you are expelled for not sending nudes to your teacher.
You're expelled for being offended.
You're expelled. Yeah, we're canceling you for wanting to cancel us.
I just want to know. Okay, so there has to be a delineation. There has to be a termination point, right? Where things that you consider to be normal and appropriate, either you've been desensitized to them so much to where there's many of them, like you've dealt with so much of this shit, you're just like, oh, well, that happened. Or alternatively, is it that this was something that this person never thought was inappropriate? Did the teacher just routinely take pictures of themselves as a preteen to send to people reading in a bathtub? They're just like, I did it when I was a kid. It's fine to ask my kids to do it here in class. Like, I want to know where the thought process came from. I want to know, like, what synapse misfired to cause this.
See, now this is me showing my age. My initial thought when I heard that was like, oh, well, teachers are all people that are older than me, because I went to school and they were always older than me when I was in school, right? So I'm like, well, that would have been different in the age of film cameras, because then you have to actually, like, take the picture and then, like, take it to the store to get it developed and wait for it and everything. And it's like,
that hasn't been the case in a long time.
Wait a minute. There are teachers now that have never had a film camera.
I was about to say, my vocal coach is a school teacher, and she's younger than me.
Yeah, no, all of my kids' teachers are about my age. Give or take.
Yeah, I hate to tell you this, but as you get older, you get older.
No, that can't be right. That can't be right.
Search your feelings. You know it to be true.
Okay, let's power through the last news item. So there's an abortion ban that has been put in place, or that was signed into law by the governor there in Indiana. It essentially outlaws all abortion except for the cases of rape and incest, and in those cases, only up to 10 weeks. So
in a case of incest, where it is incredibly likely that you won't be able to find out or even get the abortion, because if it's, say, a dad, then you probably can't find a convenient way to get either that test or go to the doctor or do anything, because if somebody's abusing you that way, they're probably also watching you like a hawk.
Mm-hmm.
It's already unlikely for you to get this. This is ignoring the fact that some people don't even find out they're pregnant until, like, late into the second trimester. That's the thing that can happen, and it happens more often than people should be comfortable with when they make decisions like this.
Okay, back to the earlier film cameras. I guess I forgot about Polaroids.
You shake it like a Polaroid picture.
Those were expensive, though. Not everybody had Polaroids.
I never knew anybody with a Polaroid.
I knew, like, one person. It was like a novelty that you used, like, when you first found out about it and then never touched again. They don't take very good pictures. Anyway, so there's everything that you said, but then there's also, like, the case of, like, you might not know you're pregnant until after 10 weeks. Like, when do pregnancy tests become accurate? It's been a while since I've had to worry about that.
Well, and the type of pregnancy test that you have an access to when you're a kid and probably are on very strict financial, like, budget is infinitely less accurate than the type of test that you'll have access to when you have more of a budget or even a doctor's office at your disposal. Like, I'm sorry, the dollar pregnancy tests at Dollar Tree, you can get false positives. And that's really awkward when that happens, but it's also reality.
Yeah, so over-the-counter like urine pregnancy tests, it's from the first day of a missed period, so that's about 4 weeks with how they calculate the weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Give or take. It could be different depending on your cycle. So they now have 6 weeks from the earliest time they could even find out that they're pregnant. They now have an additional 6 weeks to actually get an abortion in a state that is, like, with this kind of laws, it's going to be ridiculous to even try and get one.
This is why so many people have been advocating that if you have a period tracker app that you've been using to track your cycles, delete it.
Mm-hmm.
Get the fuck rid of it.
Yeah, because if it keeps your data, then there's a potential for the government to subpoena that if they ever suspect you of carrying out an illegal abortion.
Yeah, none of that. Get rid of it. Do not have, do not use, because the last thing you need as a living, breathing human being is a police officer invading your privacy infinitely more than it has already been invaded that led to you going down this route of trying to take care of yourself. Like, no.
The judgmental cat has pointed out that some people have they still get what appears to be a period when they're first pregnant. It might just be with a smaller flow. Yeah, that does happen. So you could potentially not even think that you have missed a period, at which point it'll then be 8 weeks before you are able to, like, if you miss the second period.
There's also people who get their periods, they feel the cramps, but then they don't actually get a proper flow but once every 3 months. Like, periods are a regular thing for a lot of people, but not everyone. Like, and as a result of that, because of that information, it's a lot easier to say, I don't know when I missed my period because I have kind of an irregular flow. Do you have any data on that? I don't, because it's never really mattered to me. Like, it's just a part of living.
Yeah.
You don't need that information. I don't have it.
Yeah. So anyway, the thing that's making this different is Satanic Temple challenging the government on religious freedom issues. That's nothing new. That happens all the time. And every single time it turns out that when courts say religious freedom, what they really mean is religious freedom for Christians.
Freedom for me and not for thee.
Yeah. So, like, as long as the religious freedom you want is something that's in line with Christian values, then you're fine. But as soon as we disagree with that, as soon as Christians disagree with what you're asking for religious freedom-wise, then it's not. Which means it's not really religious freedom.
No, and it never has been.
What makes this different is that they're actually this is kind of the spaghetti tactic, where they're throwing all the spaghetti against the wall and seeing which one will stick. So they're arguing this from so this law violates a woman's property rights because it's taking of something of hers, which is her uterus, without offering compensation. So that's where, like, if you look at the uterus as something like with surrogacy, they will often people will often take payments to be a surrogate carrier for someone. So it's like it's a property rights violation in that case. This is my uterus. Someone's now living there without my consent.
This is why I have a friend of mine who is very pro gun, very pro stand your ground laws, stuff like that. Of course, we live in Georgia and I grew up in Florida, where stand your ground is probably most famous in the United States. Like, that's like Florida and Texas are like the two places when you think stand your ground usually immediately come up. And I typically will go, okay, look, here's my argument for abortion. Do you like stand your ground laws? Do you think they're valid? Yes. Okay, cool. Now, do you know the intent of the person who's in your house who you don't want in your house? Not all the time. You don't know if they're trying to kill you. You don't know if they're at risk to you, but you do know you want them gone, and you do know you're allowed to exercise any amount of force to expel them. Now, I want you to trade out house for uterus, and you don't even have to trade out the person here because I'm granting personhood to the fetus at all stages. Neat. This is a person in your house whom you do not wish to be there, and you would like to expel them, and any use of force is perfectly fine for that.
There you
That's
go.
how stand your ground works.
Yeah.
This is stand your ground, but with a womb.
Yeah.
That's it.
So
all the same logic applies.
Fusel in my chat is saying about the online period trackers. I, as a man, downloaded one and started to enter fake periods as to create garbage information for them. I can appreciate that effort, but I feel like that's not going to work because they probably tie it to specific phones. Even if it's technically anonymous, they can probably still tie it to a device.
Yeah, it's not like a it's not like they have an actual physical system of papers they have to riffle through, and the more papers we give them, the better we stall them. Though that would have made for a very funny movie in the 50s and 60s.
Yeah.
But
so the Satanic Temple lawsuit, they're also coming at it from a 13th Amendment standpoint, where this subjects women to involuntary servitude by forcing her to use her body to carry the pregnancy through to birth. So yeah, that's basically slavery, essentially. Like, I am performing this unwanted labor. Literally what it is. They're also arguing that it discriminates between women who become pregnant by accident and cannot get an abortion, and women who become pregnant through rape or incest and can get an abortion, in violation of the 14th Amendment's Equal Protection Clause. Also argues that Indiana's law discriminates between women who become pregnant despite using birth control and cannot get abortion, and women who use in vitro fertilization and are exempt from the law, also in violation of the 14th Amendment. And they also are arguing that the law violates the state's Religious Freedom Restoration Act, the RFRA, by punishing the satanic abortion ritual, because I guess they actually have a ritual for that.
Yeah, Satanic Temple has done that with abortion, and also Prismatic Church did that with transitioning. Put transitioning in as a religious ritual, and then if you were to, like, medical transition specifically, so that if you were to deny someone medical transition, you could be like, well, it's my religious right under the Prismatic Church and their recognized affiliation for X, Y, and Z. You can't deny me this because, well, it's religion. So, don't do that.
What happened with the Prismatic Church? I heard there was like a falling out or something. Are they still around?
So they're still around, but there was as they grew, there was a denominational split. I can't imagine why that would happen in any type of anything that has ever been
That's
conceived.
how you prove it's a real religion.
So I don't know the specifics on it. I may end up doing a video on them, and then I'll know the specifics because I'll have to research for it. But off the top of my head, I don't know what happened that caused the split.
Okay.
But I do know there has been some kind of split.
I really liked the idea behind that church. If you're not familiar, the Prismatic Church was basically like, essentially they were turning LGBTQ acceptance into a religion so that they could then get, like, they could argue for LGBTQ legal protections under religious freedom sort of thing. And also, like, if your workplace is discriminating against you because of it, then you can bring that to the courts or whatever. It's a really good idea. Apparently it's not the best executed, but hopefully.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this lawsuit, it might end up not being necessary because the law was also it was struck down by a judge because it violates the state constitution. So the law is not really in effect right now, but I'm kind of curious to see this because, like, religious freedom should be their best bet for this, but, like, all of these are legitimate arguments. But it like, anytime the Satanic Temple brings a lawsuit, it always just kind of highlights that religious freedom is only for Christians, and maybe Jews sometimes, as long as they are also not in favor of abortion, which it turns out they are in a lot of cases.
Yeah, it's why it just depends on how orthodox you are, because, like, Shapiro and classically Abby are very anti-abortion. Abby's recently gone anti-birth control. Like, she's been going down that route recently.
Is Abby Shapiro's sister?
Unfortunately, yes.
Okay. Every time I see I know it's a fake tweet, but I always see that tweet of, like, Ben Shapiro going through his sister's underwear drawer or whatever. It always makes me chuckle because it sounds like something he would say, but just like a little bit too far.
All I'm saying is that he doesn't share a room with his wife.
Does he not?
Apparently, the story
Her
behind that
vagina's
was
too dry; it dries the air out.
the story behind that was that Ben Shapiro made a tweet talking about their child, and when their child asked a question of him, he had said, go to your mom's room and ask her. And I'm like, do they have different rooms? Like, I know that there are people who get angry in my comment section. There are people who got angry at me when I did my video on the Church of Prismatic Light, because they're like, you're supposed to be a skeptic. Why are you supporting religion? Just like, shut up. I'm a utilitarian over everything. Things that produce more good are good to me.
Yeah.
You talking produces no good, so shut up. But with the Ben Shapiro thing, like, I have a tendency to be very mean where he's concerned. I also have a tendency to justify it under he's deserved every ounce of it.
Mm-hmm. That's how I am with Matt Powell.
God, I woke up ecstatic the day that he did that video where he was calling me trans.
Yes.
I woke up, I saw that video. It was while I was in the middle of the subathon. I saw that video and I was elated. I was like, I haven't done a video on Cupcake in 2 years. I am thrilled. I have an excuse to do this now. You have no idea.
Come on. Your avatar has boobs. You have to be trans.
I love when he also said that was I using skepticism when I mutilated my body to get boobs? And I'm like,
you do realize that's a drawing, right?
Doritos that went into these boobs, right?
That's a cartoon, right?
Never say that Matt Powell is good at delineating between reality and fiction.
I would never say that.
Good, because the pterodactyls in his head told him not to.
Oh, the Civil War pterodactyls. Oh, I forgot about that. Oh, God, he's such an idiot. He's such an idiot, but he's so malicious about everything. Like, he's so mean about his idiocy. Like, dude, you have no right to be such a jerk about this stuff because you're just a fucking idiot. Like, no, stop. Anyway, so I meant to say this earlier, but all the language in this article is with regards to women being pregnant. Trans men get pregnant as well. I think they were just kind of copying the language from the Satanic Temple's lawsuit where they did specify women. I would assume that the Satanic Temple is pro-trans rights, judging by where they stand on other stances, and this is just like a habit thing rather than an oversight. Like, it's just an oversight rather than actively excluding. So, but I just wanted to make that explicit here that, like, yes, trans men as well. Anyone with a womb, anyone capable of getting pregnant, regardless of their identity. Anyway, the stream's supposed to be over in 4 minutes, and we haven't started the tweets yet. Should we get on to some tweets?
4 minutes of tweets. Let's go.
4 minutes. Okay. Dinesh D'Souza. I didn't include the whole picture here because unlike all the news sites that were talking about this particular outfit that had it censored, Dinesh did not censor it. So there was a big honking penis hanging off of her crotch there. And there were a lot of people in the comments there that were complaining like, Dinesh, come on, I love you, man, but why would you post this? Like, censor it. Like, it's fine not being censored. I just can't stream it not censored.
But Vice Rhino, if he did not post it in its entirety with the full package, he wouldn't be able to get off to it.
Just Google Christina Aguilera Hulk costume. You'll see it. She's wearing a giant strap-on dildo, and it's amazing. But he says, call me crazy, but I'm not sure this qualifies as sex education for 5- and 6-year-olds. For the left, corrupting our children seems to be a policy imperative.
What policy has us putting a Hulk costume with a penis on Christina Aguilera?
This was from her Pride Month concert.
Yeah, like, name the policy where this comes from.
Okay, so nobody takes their 5- and 6-year-old kids to a Christina Aguilera concert and expects that to be sex education. I will, however, say that there were definitely some Christina Aguilera music videos that played a role in my budding sexuality as a teenager.
Well, see, for me, that was just being a part of the Sonic the Hedgehog fandom, but you do you.
Well, I mean, when I hear Christina Aguilera, I picture the assless chaps in the red underwear, and that was a good music video. I liked that one as a teenager.
I just picture Rouge the Bat, but again, this is for Sonic.
And
So
the fact that she came out on stage in a Hulk costume wearing a strap-on dildo is just like, this says to me she's a good person.
Jesus. Cyber Jill says Cirrus lost his virginity to Rouge the Bat. My hand is not called Rouge the Bat, but okay.
Does your hand count for losing your virginity? Well,
virginity's
a social
a made-up
construct.
Concept anyway.
It's a social construct. Who fucking cares?
You know what else is a social construct? Money.
You're not wrong.
That's one that, like, anytime somebody gets mad that I say gender is a social construct, they're like, that means it's not real and not important. I'm like, you know what else is a social construct? Money.
Yeah, it is.
And yet it's very real, and we have to deal with it every day.
So the thing about gender, though, is that there actually is some evidence coming about that, like, gender identity does have a biological basis in the brain.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, saying it's a social construct might not be helpful. Like it is in the sense that it's like, okay, like, it doesn't matter whether you like to wear dresses or pants. Who fucking cares? It doesn't, like, if you want to call yourself a girl, if that's the gender you identify with, that's fine. But, like, the fact that there is evidence shown, and it's not strong evidence as of yet, but it's like along the same lines as the evidence that showed that being gay had a biological basis, like back in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like we need more data, but all signs right now point to it definitely having a biological component to it.
And then we get a new version of Dragon Ball Z Abridged, but instead, Dr. Brief says I found the trans gene instead of the gay gene.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And even that, it's not one gene.
It was a joke from DBZ Abridged. Honey, I found the gay gene. Now we'll be able to make
Ball Z.
That's it. Well, this is the Abridged series,
and yes, I am going to call it different. Dragon Ball Z because
I know, because you're a filthy Canadian.
I'm a filthy fucking Canadian. I made poutine for dinner the other day. Eh? Actually, you know what?
Did you have to extend the A at the end of the? I
can't.
You really have to.
I can't do the Canadian accent. The accent that everybody thinks is Canadian is there's two main accents. One of them is actually a Minnesota accent. And the other one is the not West Coast. The East Coast is going to kill me for saying West Coast. The East Coast accent, like out in Nova Scotia and PEI and Newfoundland and everything. That one is, like, those two are the ones that everybody thinks of when they think of Canadian. And even on the East Coast, they often don't speak like that unless they are, like, putting it on to be extra Canadian.
But if they're being more Canadian, isn't that more authentic? They're
know.
Being extra Canadian, so I mean, really, it's like extra virgin olive oil.
I don't even know what is the difference between virgin olive oil and extra virgin, and like what even. I've not seen an olive oil that's not extra virgin in ages. Like, what even is not extra virgin olive? I don't even fucking know.
I only have a lot of jokes that are inappropriate for stream here. I don't have an actual answer for you.
Okay. Anyway. Next tweet, we got K-Sorbs. Says, Martha's Vineyard got rid of the illegal immigrants so quickly they couldn't even read the yard signs that say everyone is welcome.
God, I hate this tweet in particular, because I did a video on the Martha's Vineyard thing.
Yeah.
And it was literally nobody at Martha's Vineyard was told that they were getting a shipment of a bunch of people. The people weren't told they were being shipped anywhere. The addresses that the people that were being shipped to Martha's Vineyard, the addresses that were put on their paperwork weren't the addresses that they were living at all. And in America, when you are applying for citizenship or asylum, you get dates to report in to your nearest facility. So they'd be like, you're in Martha's Vineyard. Your nearest facility is Washington on the other
No,
coast.
that's because the people that were loading them onto the planes, the border agents that were loading them onto the planes or buses or whatever they sent them in, they were
planes.
they filled out the paperwork, and they would put in addresses that were as like they would say like, oh, the address that you're currently living at while you're waiting for your court date, and they would put it in locations that were as far away from Martha's Vineyard as possible to thereby make it impossible for them to actually make their court date.
Yeah.
And
because their court date was on Monday, and they got sent out on like Friday.
And they lied to them to get them on the bus or on the planes to go there in the first place. They said these were people that wanted to go to Boston because they have family in Boston that they want to go and live with. And so they said, oh yeah, we'll send you to Boston. And then they sent them to Martha's Vineyard, which is not Boston.
No, it's its own island.
Yeah. And then the people of Martha's Vineyard got together and took care of them and gave them food, gave them medical care, gave them legal counsel, which might turn into a thing.
It was pro bono legal counsel. Like lawyers were flying in from across the country.
And like people are saying like, oh, they called the National Guard to get rid of these illegal aliens. It's like, no, they called the National Guard because they weren't prepared to take on a bunch of people that need refuge and asylum without any warning. So, like, the National Guard is the service that you would call to take care of an emergency like that.
And if you saw the pictures of, like, how they had them housed up, like, it was in a local church. They put a bunch of cots out there for everybody. But putting a whole bunch of families all on cots in a single giant room is not generally considered a sustainable, healthy, hygienic, or even, like, mentally well thing to do. Because you are negatively affecting the psychology of every family there that are just trying to be where they're supposed to be and not, locked somewhere that you've just sent them. Like, they left Martha's Vineyard because they weren't supposed to be in Martha's Vineyard to begin with. And I know that somebody's going to take that and go, well, they're illegals. They weren't supposed to be here to begin with.
No, they were asylum seekers.
They were asylum seekers.
They were refugees.
Because you typed that, your dick size just shrank like 2 inches. Congrats. But besides that, it just shows how much Kevin Sorbo's brain has rotted over the years.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was always that way.
But then there's also the I want to address the asylum cities thing. So when people say asylum cities, what a lot of people picture is like the Hunchback of Notre Dame. You walk into the cathedral, you say sanctuary, and now nobody can come and get you. They have to take care of you in the cathedral. That's not what being an asylum city means. What being an asylum city means is that sanctuary city. Yeah. What being in a sanctuary city means is that when ICE comes and says, give us all the documents you have on the illegal immigrants, their response will be, no, show us a court order first. That's all it means, is that they just won't automatically give all the information they have over to the border and immigration people. So it doesn't mean that you can just ship a bunch of human beings to us anytime you want, and we have the resources ready to deal with them without warning.
It is a way for people to look at Ron DeSantis's performative cruelty and celebrate it. And that's why I've been changing my focus recently to going, no. I've stopped caring whether or not you think gay people are valid, trans people are valid, any of that. No. I am now focused on, why are you being an asshole? Mm-hmm. I care not what exists in your brain of brains and your heart of hearts, regardless of how small both of them are. I care about the actions that you're taking, Little Dick 69. I want to know, why are you being a dick? Why is that your goal in life? What are you earning from that? And how many of your family members have left you because of that?
All right, moving on. So we go from Sorbo to Nick Adams talking about Sorbo. It says, this country needs more patriot actors like Kevin Sorbo in Hercules and fewer DNC stooges like Chris Evans in Lightyear.
Wait a minute. Do they know?
Is Chris Evans a Republican?
I'm pretty certain Chris Evans is Christian.
Are you sure you're not thinking of Chris Pine?
Hold on.
I don't know. Chris Evans is the Captain America one, right? I don't know which one is Chris. Which Chris is which? Chris Pratt, I think, is the one that goes to the like homophobic church.
It's Chris Pratt. Okay, yeah, you're right. Chris Pratt. Okay, so the other question there that goes, I know what he's referring to. He's just referring to the fact that there's a whole 6 seconds of gay kiss in Buzz Lightyear, and by a whole 6 seconds,
You mean like
I
1
mean,
second?
No.
It was a quick
There's
peck
about,
on the lips.
but it happens about 6 times. It happens
Does
multiple times. Because remember,
I saw that
don't
movie. I don't remember it.
I don't want to spoil the movie for anybody, but it's the same peck on the lips, but it happens multiple times over the course of several years during a sequence where the time is moving very fast for the viewer. That's as far as I'll go without spoiling the movie itself. But it happens a lot.
No. There's no way I would have missed it if it happened 6 times. I think it only happened the once. Like I know the sequence
every time.
I know the sequence you're talking about, but it only happened the once. There was only the one kiss. Is this our Mandela effect moment?
I think this is our Mandela effect moment. I think we saw different movies right now. I just know that in China, when they censored that movie, they removed 6 seconds of it. So it might have been that they removed any scene that like showed women together. And that was, maybe I'm extrapolating from that the entirety of them pecking every single time. But regardless, there's a whole 6 seconds of gay in that movie, Rhino. We had to remove it.
I think it's less than 6 seconds, man.
Look, why would China lie?
Okay, whatever. Anyway, I just kind of like the juxtaposition. So this Nick Adams guy, every time I see him tweet, I'm like, he has to be a Poe. There's no way this guy actually believes the shit that he says. He can't be real. But it's like, no, he's an actual author that like Trump has endorsed. And like he speaks at events and stuff. It's like, no, he actually like licks Trump's balls for a living. Like what? And I've got like
he has the best nut sweat.
I've got like 4 tweets from this guy because I can't believe him. So he says, if Trump won the White House, the Dow would be over 36,000 by now. I don't know what the Dow is at. I don't fucking care. The president of the United States doesn't control the stock market. Also, like my stock that's performing the best right now, it gained 20% today. It's now 12 cents per stock per stock instead of like 11 cents or whatever it was before. But like all my stocks are down.
I have an Acorns account that has stocks and I don't look at it because I don't care. So
I opened several mutual funds accounts right before everything started crashing. So like everything is down right now. I'm just like, oh, that was the worst time to open it. I should have opened it now. Anyway, like that one's not really relevant. Who cares? Whatever. Let's move on. But what I really like is he. So here we look at the date. This is from August 27th. He says the NFL blackballed Tim Tebow for kneeling to God, but praised Colin Kaepernick for kneeling because of his unquenchable hatred for America. That's not why he was kneeling. Fuck you. Then he says this is why every American should boycott the woke NFL. Next tweet, September 26th. What the hell is Jimmy Kimmel doing on Monday Night Football? I guess it's asking too much to have one night without politics infecting sports. His boycott.
He's okay with religion in sports, but not politics, despite how incestually married they are.
Yeah, but also his boycott lasted less than a month. So.
Just. Fucking hell. I like. So, Adesanya, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that correctly, just said, who's this off-brand Hassan?
Naram to put Saul on mine says, wasn't Colin Kaepernick fired for that? Yeah, he stopped making money because, like, I guess he got a Nike deal after that, but I don't think he's played football since. I don't really watch football, so I don't know. I might be wrong on that. And when I say I don't really watch football, I mean I have never watched a full football game ever in my life.
Yeah.
And Tim Young says, today is another good day to send more illegal immigrants to D.C., Chicago, New York City, the Hamptons, Martha's Vineyard, Delaware Beach, and other Democrat-run sanctuary cities. So this brings it back around to that's not what a sanctuary city means. And also, like, maybe, instead of surprise, here's a couple hundred people you now need to take care of. Maybe, like, advance warning so that they have time to prepare. Or maybe, like, process their asylum papers the way it's supposed to be done. Like, using human beings for this is just disgusting.
Yeah. And when people ask how close are we as America to properly emulating Nazi Germany, I look at stuff like this, and I know it sounds really alarmist, but I mean,
not really though.
It's not really that alarmist if you look at that.
They literally forcibly relocated people to make a political point. Like, forced relocation is a bad thing. There's a whole Star Trek movie about forced relocation being a bad thing. Let's fight against the Federation now because they are trying to forcibly relocate people.
You don't understand. Star Trek doesn't count because it is simultaneously too woke to matter, and it was never woke. That's why they make all that money.
Yeah, this was Next Generation before it supposedly got woke.
Wait, no, Next Generation is like literally the most wokest thing possible. What? They were considered dangerously, like, provocatively progressive for their time.
And that's in spite of Rick Berman fighting against it at every step in the way.
Just, oh my God.
Basically, all of 90s Trek that did well in spite of Berman, not because of Berman. He was not.
I love if anyone has not seen, there's a guy I cover who my chat has lovingly dubbed the Nintendo Nazi, and what he deems as go woke, go broke seems to change based on whatever argument he's making at the time.
Oh, there's a video, I forget what channel it was. It was one of the big go woke, get broke thing, or get woke, go broke, whatever it is. And like I guess he recently released a video that was like titled, "Will Go Woke Get Broke Finally Come True?" with regards to, I think it was Pinocchio, because the good fairy is black now or whatever. I don't know. I have no intention of ever watching that movie.
I don't think they realize that, like, most of those real life Disney movies were not made because of some woke agenda. They were made because Disney wanted to keep copyright. Like, that's it.
And yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
but, I was never a fan of the original Pinocchio anyway. Like, animation wise, it's brilliant. Story wise, it's eh.
Like, I liked Pinocchio when I was a kid, but like only in the sense that I watched it, I think twice. Once with my parents, and once because the daycare I was at had it playing at the time. And that's like as far as I got with like liking it. I was obsessed with Lion King though. That movie had violence.
Lion King was a really good movie though.
Mm-hmm.
Tim Young again says, if you give us money, we can change the weather is the new the earth is flat. Here's the thing though. Oil companies get hundreds of billions, if not trillions of dollars every year in government subsidies, and that's not even including the externalized costs that they cause, like extra healthcare costs because of pollution from coal-fired power plants. Did I say oil? Because I meant fossil fuel. Like coal-fired power plants cause all sorts of extra health costs. Burning gasoline in cars in big cities causes all sorts of health costs. So not even including the externalized health costs that are directly caused by fossil fuel industries, but are not paid for by fossil fuel industries, they already get hundreds of billions, if not trillions of dollars per year from governments around the world. And they changed the weather. So
quite literally.
Like we both have a friend right now who has family that is hunkering down trying to survive a nasty hurricane in Florida as we speak. That like, yeah, technically you can't say that this one specific hurricane would not have happened if it weren't for climate change. However, the frequency of intense hurricanes is increasing. That is undoubtable. It is true.
Yep.
And that's the last tweet. And I really have to pee, so I'm going to end the stream now.
Okay.
So thanks for joining me.
Don't sprinkle when you tinkle.
Thank you, audience, for thanks for that. Thank you, audience, for managing to make it over to my second stream. And I'm running to the bathroom now. So bye. Wait, what I decided was my sign off was like fuck off or something. Just like fuck off. I don't know. I swore at my audience as a sign off once, and I forget what exactly I said because I'm consistent like that. Bye, everybody.